What's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin.
You got to pull it back a little, bro. You were a little hot into that mic.
Was I a little hot? Let me turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that
just
better?
push it back. I've never seen it so up on your chin like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been listening to
I've
been listening to our podcast, man. Right? Like I check it out, and I always feel like I'm a little far away from the mic. You sound so
really.
crisp. Yeah, like
I think you sound good.
You think so? What I notice is I feel like you have. You know what it is? I speak up into my voice like this, right? Like I sound kind of high. But if I really settle in, my voice is here, right?
Oh, my buddy is gonna join. Okay.
All right. Well,
but we'll keep talking. We'll let him come in. Go in.
Okay. So yeah, man, I was listening to it. I'm like, yo, your voice sounds really good, man. You got like a great radio voice. Like you got a perfect face for radio too.
No, yeah, okay, that's a good joke there, buddy.
Is my mic still too hot?
No, dude. Just your attitude.
Yo, hold up. Yo, you got to keep it. You got to keep the tradition, man. It was brought to my attention that at the start of every podcast, you take a swig of Gatorade, like you advertise in that joint.
It's water aid, okay? Because I live on one of the driest places on the goddamn planet, and you always need water. And I just like, I'll drink a Gatorade, then I'll hold the bottle for like a week or so and use it as water, then get a new one and redo. And I know, hey, I should be using those, non-plastic ones, but no, dude, this is way easier. Those things suck, dude. And I'm carrying them around. I don't know. This is, and I'm using a lot. Okay. I'm not buying tons of Gatorade, but I'm not advertising.
Well, I can't tell. It's a big G right there. And you're taking a swig. It looks like it. Maybe that's the next commercial.
All right. So, Reg, we got our first guest ever. And
yes,
a guy I used to work with at Icon. We're bringing in the big names.
Nice. Icon Office Solutions.
I don't know if you know this guy or met him. So, but we were talking about last time he heard us talking about Icon, and he said, "Hey, you should tell that story when we went down to Atlanta, and you had to do that mic. They do that set in Atlanta." And I was really new into it, and I had a work training. Boy. And so I was like, "Hey, maybe we'll get some good funnies out of it." All right.
Man. Okay.
So I'm recording now, and we're gonna let him join in here.
Okay.
His name's Anthony.
Anthony, is he still working with Icon? Actually, no, I'll ask him.
No, he went to a different company. He left.
Okay.
And he left, and this manager left, and then he teed off a bunch of these guys.
Oh, he poached.
Yeah.
Yeah, he poached.
Little poacher we got here. So we'll see. He probably won't like that. There he is, dude. There he is. Still looking good. All right,
Anthony.
buddy. What's up, buddy?
You got to unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah. Let me unmute him.
Okay.
There we go.
Like the comedian on SNL a couple weeks ago when he won the Emmy Award. He was on mute the whole time.
Oh.
That's right.
I didn't see that. Who was this?
It was, I forget. It was, what's his name? The guy who won who played Fred Hampton. He won a Golden Globe, and it started off like that. And then they did an SNL thing about it, which was pretty funny. Look at him. He's all dressed up. I think he's still in the game, bro. He's got the suit, the shirt, and the pants.
Yeah.
He's on the clock.
But see, I don't know, man, because he's going to be backlit again. So it's going to be even more shadowy.
I don't worry about it.
Okay.
This ain't no TV show, Reg.
Okay. I just wanted
the sound is the most important. The sound is the most important. It is. Yeah, he's not an actor or anything. He's not trying to impress with his looks. He's still looking good though, buddy. How you doing?
Good. I'm good.
Yeah. So we were
every now and then. You guys crack me up. I had to jump in when I heard the Icon story.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Well, hold up, Anthony. Let me just say this. First off, welcome to Spitballin. You are officially our first guest, and it's awesome that you actually listened to the podcast and heard something and was like, "Yo, I got to chime in on that too." So welcome.
We'll take anybody. So all right. So first off, we were just talking about when you left Icon. I mean, you took off with a new boss and with some clients. So Reg was saying, is that poaching? Were you doing a little poaching back in the day?
I don't know if you could do that, Anthony. I mean, is Is that in the bylaws? Like, is that acceptable? Not acceptable? Or
I
plead the fifth?
recall that California has a right to choose state. Customers can go wherever they want.
The businessman. He's a businessman. True.
He's like, hey guys, I'm gonna be leaving, going somewhere else. I'm not saying that you got to stay here, and I'm not saying you got to come with me. But if you like me, that's
Hey,
right.
are you still selling copiers? What are you doing now?
Same thing.
No way. Same company?
Wow.
Actually, it's a company called Global Office. So I'm one of the directors. I started from a pup and now one of the owners. So
shut up. You're an owner?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Hey, congratulations to you, man. That is awesome.
So if I hit hard times, I could hit you up for a gig, dude.
We need a driver right now.
Nice. Yo, Anthony, let me ask you this. There's a guy that I played basketball with in college, a guy named Brian Driscoll, started his own company called Shamrock.
Shamrock.
Yeah. You've heard of
guy, right?
Say what?
Is he from St. Mary's?
Yeah, he's a Gale. Grew up in Monterey or Salinas, somewhere down there.
World.
Yeah, man. He his first job out of college, I think it was with who was it? I forget. It was one of the copier companies, like an Icon, but wasn't Icon. He worked there for a year, basically learned the business, and he was out when he started his own company, Shamrock Office Solutions or whatever it is now. So you've heard of him then?
Yeah, they got a good name. I heard good things from him. Yeah, I heard he was a good guy.
Man, Driscoll's awesome, man. And to his credit, Driscoll could light it up.
Really?
Oh my goodness. I'm talking about, he wasn't very big. He's only maybe about 5'8", 5'9", if he stands up straight, but he could shoot the lights out. I'm like, wow. Dris could drop 30, 35, 40 easy with just threes.
Really?
Yeah.
What year did he graduate?
He graduated in 95.
Okay.
Yeah. He graduated in 95. Right. So, all right. So they're one of your competitors, right?
Actually, he just sold his company.
He did. You're right. So he's out of the game now.
I think he's still in a little bit, probably based on his non-compete, but yeah, he sold.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Small world, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's right. He did sell.
So
that's right.
Let me ask you, Tony. So did you leave Rod Manning?
It's a dirty business. So we came over to NewCal, the company that Rod brought us over to. The NewCal was sold to Canon. Mm-hmm. And then Rod, being Rod, did a few things that maybe he shouldn't have done. Got himself let go.
From NewCal. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was a while ago. I must have forgot about that.
I ran into him with my family 2 years ago down in Monterey, and he's so funny. He's selling copiers down in Monterey. Cannabis. CBD. He's selling copiers. He's the king of Monterey. It's amazing.
That's hilarious.
What?
This guy, Reg, was always like to the T. He had the tie that you had to look good. And if you didn't look good coming to the office, he would let you know. Oh, he was a tough guy. A lot of guys didn't like him, but Tony worked with them well, and he liked Anthony, and then they took off, together. But it's crazy, man. That's hilarious.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I mean, he's in the right business right now. I mean, that's a booming business. I feel kind of bad for the small guys, though. Like, everyone was super excited about it going legal. And then they were like, yeah, you got to have $100,000 just to get in. And then you got to have another $100,000 just to stay in. Got to have another $100,000. You know what I mean? It's like, by the time you start, you got to have like 500,000 just to like start up or something crazy. So,
all right, let's just get into it. Let's tell a story.
What's on your hat, by the way? What is on your hat? Is that LeBron?
LeBron James, son.
Yeah.
LeBron James. He's going through a tough time right now. He's been hurt. But I was hoping he'd get his repeat, but they suck without him. So we'll see what happens.
I got it.
You still root for LeBron, Anthony? Because he's from Ohio. That's how we kind of connected too.
Okay. My high school, Sal. He went to my high school, St. Vincent, St. Mary.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's where you went to high school?
Mm-hmm. So you're a lifer. You're a LeBron lifer then.
Yeah, he's from Akron. You gotta. Yeah, how do you not support him? He actually does a lot of great things in Ohio. So
way big. I mean, and plus bringing the only championship we've ever seen in our lifetime to our town, dude. I mean, how can you not? That's it, dude. You got to respect that. No one else has ever done it.
Life.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And you're right. He boosted that economy And then, he
by
left
himself.
and they were like, oh shit, what are we going to do? And you notice how good he was because how terrible the Cavs have been whenever he leaves them.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
ridiculous.
Well, I mean,
he
look
carries them.
Dude, wherever he goes, right?
Yeah, he makes it a contender.
Yeah, it's like he's the only player that I've known of in history that can leave a team and go wherever, and that team automatically, based on him being there, becomes a contender. At least people start talking about them potentially getting somewhere. So,
Anthony, let me ask you this. How was it then being like a fan of his in the Bay? Because I was there too during those finals runs. Oh my God.
Oh, I got hate mail from people all the time that thought I was a bandwagon. I mean, you got to love the Warriors being from here, but if it's Warriors versus Cavs, it's a no-brainer. You got to root for the Cavs. And how do you not root for the underdog?
Right. And I don't remember, I'll be honest, dude, I've never saw any Warriors gear until 2015 in that town.
Exactly.
So wait, Anthony, you're in the Bay. I just want to make this clear. You're in the Bay right now. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure
where
where
you in San Francisco?
Right now I am.
Okay.
Right
Is that where you live now?
I live in the East Bay.
Oh, what town? Okay.
Where?
Walnut Creek.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My old stomping grounds. I used to
the Cracker. That's what Eli used to call it, the Cracker, Walnut Cracker. All right. So
before you get into the story, you got to preface it for me. Like, what is this story about?
Okay,
like,
so
what happened?
Anthony and I were together at Icon, and then we had a training in Atlanta, and they were going to send us there for 2 weeks. Nice. And it was we went with, there's 4 of us from our office, me, him, and these other 2 who are a couple now who are married and got kids, and they got a whole thing going. It's crazy. So the 4 of us got sent there, and not even like, I remember we went there, and during the weekend we took a trip down to Miami, which we weren't even supposed to do, but we left. Wow. We're like, F it. And then that's a whole nother trip, because then when we came back, I remember it was the scariest flight we ever were on, and Anthony was gonna piss his pants because it was a storm and the whole plane was shaking, and I slept through the whole thing.
Nice.
You remember that plane ride?
I remember it very well. I don't do well in planes.
I just remember waking up and he's like, "Did you believe that?" And I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "You were sleeping the whole time."
Well, you got to remember, we had 4 people. So it was Mike and Chris who were secretly hooking up at the time. And then my partner was Sal. So, on the plane. So not only I'm going through a lightning storm where turbulence is just absolutely insane, but I had him next to me the whole time. So between out the window and right next to me, it wasn't a great flight.
No, not at all. That's funny. You got lightning and sleep next to you.
So we go down to Atlanta, and I was looking for a comedy show. I don't know. I just did 6 months in. All right.
Oh, man,
I'm green, man. So there's only like 2 clubs at the time. This was before Laugh and Skull. I think there was like an Atlanta Punchline or something, but I couldn't get in that. So I got into what they would call the Urban Club, the Uptown Comedy Corner.
First off, I'm gonna tell you right now, you got to stay away from anything uptown. You just got to. I mean, I'm not saying you got to stay away, but I'm just saying, unless you're ready for that.
Well, I will say, so this was 6 months in. So this was before I ever did Kimball's East, before Dorsey's Locker, before anything in Oakland and the East Bay. So I never did anything. All right. And we brought like the whole crew, right, Tony? Like we had people from other states who were training for Icon came to this event.
Oh, man. I don't even know the story, but it's just funny off the top right now. 6 months in, and you go to an urban comedy club in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, baby.
In Atlanta. Uptown in Atlanta. I mean, I've only heard I've never been there, but I've heard so many stories about that place. Some good, right? And then a lot
iconic comedians going through there. A lot of iconic comedians.
Yes. Who can manage that area. So, all right. So Anthony, give us the story, man. I'm excited now. You got me amped.
Well, what do you remember walking up? We had a good crew? I don't remember.
Well, first of all, I was hoping Sal would call me before here, because I don't know what I'm allowed to say, what I can say. I don't want to ruin your street cred, Sal.
You can say whatever.
He has none.
Man.
Anthony, he has no street cred. None
I was trying to
whatsoever.
confirm, Reggie. As long as there's none, I'm good.
Yeah, no, he has none. All right, I'm gonna have to put my hat back on for this one. I need to let this one hang out.
Who's on your hat, dude?
You know what?
Oh, you got arm wrestling on your hat, bro. What is this? Over the top?
It's metal detecting. It's like a
Dutch.
It's Dylan and Dutch metal detecting. It's actually another podcast.
Jesus. Can we get back to this?
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Okay.
So here's what I recall.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, here's what I recall. So we're in this training class to learn how to sell copiers, which we barely got through. And Sal comes up with an idea. Hey, there's this comedy club. You know, I'm thinking about it. I don't know. And I'm like, just do it. Let's go. I'm talking to him.
Yeah, I do remember you being very supportive now that you mentioned. That's true. Tony was very supportive in the beginning.
Good for you, Tony. That's awesome. That's what every young comic needs, somebody who will support their delusions.
You make it big, I'll expect my 5%. But
this is the top right here.
So we have all these people in class. There's a young lady that Sal has an interest in that's also there.
It's always one.
And they go out the night before. Sal passed out in a nightclub. I wasn't there. A lot of stuff happened. He ruined his chance with this woman, and she's really cute. I was rooting for this to happen, and we're all there the next day in class. Everyone's hungover, but me, because I decided to try to study how to sell copiers.
And you're the responsible one, and that's why you're a director now.
The responsible one that night. Night.
And that's why you're a director now, Anthony. So awesome. All right.
So he finds his club. I'm like, Sal, you got to do this. I'm going to embarrass myself. Little did Sal know that's what I wanted to see. I want to see a little bit of embarrassment. So we get together. He decides to call the owner of the club, I believe, and then he schedules. It's like open mic night.
Yeah.
So I believe
okay.
I think it was open mic, or somehow Sal got on.
Something like that, yeah. Because there was another guy on the show who was really new. I'll talk about, which is funny.
Okay.
So we go on there and we get made fun of immediately.
Wait,
they called you the cast of the Real World.
Yes. Exactly. They said, "Oh, here's the cast of the Real World."
Okay, so let me say this.
The Booker, like the other.
The comic, the first comic. So I remember, like, I walk in, okay, and I don't know what to expect. I knew it was an urban room, and I remember I actually called Curtis Matthews, and I was like, "You got any advice? I've never done. I know this is a different room," and he's like, "Just bring your energy, And I was like, "Okay." So
that's good advice, actually.
Yeah. So the door opens, I remember, and I walk in, and just hip hop is blasting the second I walk in, right? And every painting on the wall is a comic, and every comic is black except for Jim Carrey.
Exactly.
Really, Jim Carrey?
Yeah, man, Live in Color, dude. I guess he was an icon at the time. This was early 2000s. So then I ended up, the show's starts. I go, no, I'm going to be number 2. Okay. And I'm the only white comic on the show. All right. So go ahead, Anthony. So you start getting, that's right. I forgot he started ripping on you guys right off the bat. Cause there weren't many white folks in the crowd. We brought most of them.
Okay.
Well, there was only 2, and it was me and you. And then Mike Johnson, they said he was Iranian. So he passed for Middle Eastern. Chris was from Afghanistan. The girl that I think you were trying to date was mixed, so there wasn't a lot. There was not a lot there, which made there's so much tension, and so we are like, you better not bomb, because we're gone. We're leaving you, and we're out of here.
Now, do you remember the first comic they let up? So there's this guy. He's this big black comic guy. And he goes, he's talking to me before the show, and he's drinking. And I'm like, yeah, you all right, man? He's like, I've never been on stage before, but I'm gonna kill these motherfuckers, dude. It's great, dude. And I was like, all right, man. And I was like, well, just have fun up there, rock it. He's like, yeah, man, I got this. So they introduce him, and he goes up, and you get like 5 minutes, right? This dude at like a minute and a half, he goes, all right, so what else to talk about? They turn the music on, bro, and you get him right off the stage.
Gonged immediately out.
Go on. And I'm next.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. Were you next or Jackie Chan?
Oh, I don't even remember that. That's right.
Oh, you were third. I remember this very
Okay,
well.
go ahead.
So I think he was Chinese,
Okay.
and he was big. His head was monstrous, but he looked exactly like Jackie Chan. And so the first comment goes up, as Sal mentioned, he's off in a minute and a half.
Oh, scary.
And then the other guy goes up. We'll call him Jackie Chan because I remember they go, Jackie Chan, get out of here. Music goes up. They boot him off.
Wait. He didn't even get a chance to say anything?
He said maybe one or two lines and he was gone. Gone.
Whoa. You're like at the Apollo of Atlanta.
It was tough.
And you still wanted to go up?
So we're looking at each other. I'm like, we just go now? Get out from now.
Yeah, I'm like, that's brutal. Holy cow.
So we're
I remember
sweating in the back when Sal goes up before anything happens.
I remember when he introduced me, he gave me all these fake credits too. Because I was like,
the
here,
worst.
you want these credits? And he's like, this guy was just on the Tonight Show. Yeah, all this bullshit.
Dude, that's the worst. That's such a setup. That's such a setup, dude.
But I will say, it was Sal crushed it.
I crushed it.
Yeah.
We were all back there going, thank God.
The girl from last night is like, hey, Sal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do remember. It was good. And I will say, I feel sometimes like a white comic, you will get a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but if you suck, you gone. No matter what, funny's funny.
Yo, but in Black Clubs, they give white guys benefit of the doubt because they almost give you credit for just getting up, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, you got some balls. All right, yeah, we'll give you a chance. But don't be a black dude. Be a black dude and just be like, it's a wrap.
Oh, dude, we saw it. We saw it twice.
So let me ask you that, Sal. Do you remember what your set? Well, I'll ask you, Anthony. Do you remember anything about his set? Like any of the jokes?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Probably my dad. I probably did my dad.
You start off a little bit with your dad, which was kind of funny, but I remember we had a conversation just about being honest. So it's like brutally honest and why it's so funny because it happens to you in real life. And it was the first time because I've seen some of Sal's skits and I'm like, I'm laughing because I know him. But if you're not part of it, you kind of like, But when he went up there, it was all about truth. And it was so funny because you had tried to hook up with that girl the night that you passed out.
I don't even remember.
Got
that. That's funny.
Penis jokes, everything sideways with it, trying to do it. It was all. It just came out.
Wait.
Coming out.
No.
Wait,
Hold on. Okay, I know what's happening.
Hold on. Let me ask this. So you mean to tell me the night before he tried to hook up with a girl, but he was so drunk that his junk didn't work, and he talked about it on stage?
I told the story that happened before, I believe. And that's the story I told. It didn't happen there in Atlanta, but I do remember. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I didn't know that's the bit I told. So I just went dirty, it seems. And that seemed to work.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dirty.
Wow. Well, you know what? Curtis Matthews will be happy to hear that you were honest, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things we always talked about.
Yeah. And it was fun. Yeah, it was fine. And then I felt like a king that week.
Wow.
Yeah.
I give
Never
you credit,
been
man.
back. Never been back. I looked them up. They're still there. And it's crazy. You mentioned about crabs being a stereotype. They have a crab night every Sunday night or something at the club.
Black people love crabs, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Crazy.
And I know Uptown is still a very popular place. Like it's a hopping spot in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's been around for a long, but it's also a place of like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To some degree down there. I've never done it.
And I got no hate towards it. They were great. They were good to me. I'm glad they had me up, and I'm glad they're still in business. Good for them, especially in these times,
Ooh, man, I'm glad this story turned out well because I just knew that it was going to be.
Oh, it was set up scary, and then but honestly, then it's probably giving me the confidence to go from there. I mean, hell, I work with Paul Moody and stuff. Be like, hey, man, I did Uptown. I can handle this crowd. I can handle this little crowd.
I made some black people laugh once in Atlanta. I think I should be good. Right? Like, I can do anything at this point.
Well, I don't know if you'd want to say this, Reggie, but talk about not getting the benefit of doubt, because didn't you have a situation in Birmingham and you had a tough time, didn't you?
Oh man, I had a tough time.
What was it like, drum weekend?
No, it was Classic Weekend in Birmingham, Alabama. And Classic Weekend is when the historically black colleges play against each other. So Alabama State against Alabama A&M, right? So everyone from the South who's black that went to those schools converge on Birmingham, right? For that weekend. They have parades and the football game and then the bands. And people go to the football game, but it ain't really about the game. It's really about the bands at halftime. So people they're tailgating before the game, tailgating during the game, come in to watch the bands compete, and then go back out and eat, right? So yes, the game just kind of happens. So I'm working with John Witherspoon at the Star Dome out in River Chase, and it's Classic Weekend, man. John Witherspoon, this dude's been around for a long time. A lot of people know him from Friday. They know him from the Wayans brothers. They know him from, older people know him from the work that he did prior to that, where he was like a classically trained actor, like did real stuff. So basically this weekend was all the different type of black people you can imagine, right? You got the older, sophisticated black people who wear full suits and big hats, and women got the sequence dresses on, like, we going to see John Witherspoon, right? And then you got this dude right here, right? You got this dude right here, yeah, like, yeah, man, I'm going to see this motherfucker, man. I love this man. This dude, the dude from Friday, man. You got the bang, 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 all this shit, right? And then you got the dudes coming in with like big cartoon characters on their shirt. That's like, yo, I just sold some dope outside. Anybody needs something? I got whatever you need, right? Like, you got everybody. You got it. And you got the middle class, educated black people. So the first show, the first night, the opener was, he was a nice guy, but he was funny, right? He did a good job. I did a good job. It was fine. John had a great night. The next night, they had a different opener, and his name was Sir Walt. And he was on the radio in Birmingham. And Sir Walt, being popular on the radio in Birmingham, he brought a completely different type of energy. I mean, like, if you can tell by listening to the podcast or even watching, you see my demeanor. Like, I'm kind of reserved, right? Like, easygoing, fun, but not over the top. Man, Sir Walt came out and he was like, "What's up, motherfuckers? Y'all up in this bitch tonight? What, Sir Walt?" Like, he was so over the top. It was so big. I was sitting there like, all right, well, this should be interesting. All right, it should be interesting, because that ain't my natural
sir.
Yeah,
he earned a sir title.
That's sir. I was like, yo, that ain't even my bag. But all right, here we go. So he comes off, and I come on, and I'm like, yo, give it up for Sir Walt, right? I'm excited for him. He had a great set. It was fun, and everybody was like, all right. And then as I get into my thing, they're like, dude, when I say that their demeanor changed, it was like they literally got upset. They were like, he looked like us, but he ain't us, right? And so like, I made it through. Like, I fought and clawed my way through that set. Like, I literally, like, probably I had to do 25 minutes. I think at like the 10-minute mark, I was like, fuck the material. Right? Like, apparently y'all don't want to talk about nothing I want to talk about, so we're just going to talk about whatever. And I literally just started talking to people, and I walk off that stage and I was just like, why am I doing this? Right? Like,
that's right. Dude, I remember you called me.
Oh yeah, I was like, do I want to do comedy this bad? Like, this is crazy.
Wasn't your mom there?
No, that was the next night. I mean, that was the next show. She came to the late show. Oh. So that was the first show. First show, I got about 10 minutes in with material, and then I just bailed. I would just ripcord that joint. Was like, yo, let's just talk and figure some shit out. The next show, Sir Walt, same thing. What's up, motherfuckers? Y'all in this bitch tonight? Let's get it. Right? Just all this shit. I was just like, all right, whatever. Yo, that second show, I did maybe 3.5 minutes of material, and then I just bailed on everything. right? I was like, fuck it, I ain't doing no material. I'm just gonna talk to these people. Made fun of myself, made fun of them, and at the end of my set, I said, and I quote, you know what? This is the last time. I said, I said, uh, this is the last time you'll see my black ass in this motherfucker right here. I said, I leave on Tuesday on Southwest Airlines from Birmingham International Airport. I invite all y'all to come out to say goodbye to me, because you ain't gonna never see me again. And I said, and my name is Gary Wilson. Thank you. And I walked off the stage. I was like, I was like, yo, they don't get my real name. Fuck it. Like, they do not get my real name. They get Gary Wilson, Gary Upshaw. I don't give a shit whoever they getting somebody, but they do not get Reggie Steele. The best part about that whole weekend was I was with John Witherspoon, and every time I walked off, he said, how are they? I say, they didn't like me, but they gonna love you. And he was like, brother, it don't matter. These people ain't gonna never ever be together again. Fuck them. Just go out there and do what you do. I was like, all right, man. So he was cool with it. But the best part, the funniest part too, was at the end of the weekend. So that was the first show was Thursday. That's what it was. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Saturday was crazy. Friday was cool. Saturday was crazy. I come back Sunday. My boy Roy Wood Jr., who's on the Daily Show now, he was in Birmingham, and we went to the same high school. And I'm talking to Roy, and I'm like, dude, I'm just having a hard time, man. It's just like, I'm not resonating. Like, these people ain't feeling me. He goes, man, look. And this was real too. He was like, yo, look. He goes, you from Birmingham, but you ain't been here for a long time. He's like, you don't even sound like you from here. And at that time, I had on a New York hat. He's like, yo, you got to connect. You got to connect with them first, and then go into your stuff. And I was like, okay. So that last show, I literally came out and talked about being raised in Birmingham, going to high school, going to school there, everywhere that we used to hang out, all the things we used to do. Like, I let them know that I was one of them, right? Yeah. And once I did that, dude, it changed everything. Like, it was a complete 180. Like, I started talking about high school rivalries and different coaches and different people and stuff. And that last show Sunday was really great. It's really great. But that show Saturday, I was contemplating giving up comedy forever.
It's such a tough, man. It's a tough thing, man, up and down. Dude. So,
huh?
Are you from Birmingham?
I grew up in Birmingham, born in Detroit, and then raised in Birmingham, Alabama. I never did comedy there growing up.
Yeah, you never saw Reggie do comedy, Anthony?
I did out here, because you guys have done a couple of gigs out here. So we met years ago at a couple of the.
Okay. Yeah.
But I didn't know where you were from originally.
Yeah.
Grew up.
You know what? I grew up in Birmingham and came out to college in California, stayed out here. I didn't start doing comedy until 26. So I was well after college, after I played, a little bit of professional ball, like was working, then I got into it. So it was a lot later for me. You know what? I got another, I'm not going to share this story now, Sal, but I got another story about doing Sal's in LA, like this on Melrose.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
So I'll just make it quick. I'm not gonna go to the whole thing, but Bob Sumner, the guy who was like co-producer with Def Jam with Russell Simmons, he saw me in the Bay for a Def Jam audition. Love me, right? He was like, yo, you're gonna be my dark horse. Ain't nobody gonna see you coming. He's like, this is gonna be great. But then the show got canceled, so it didn't happen. But he invited me down to LA because he has this laugh mob company, right? Or whatever agency. So he invites me down there for a meeting with he and this other guy. So I go to the meet. Am I telling this story?
Just go ahead now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay.
I hope our director doesn't need to get back to work or anything, does he?
Like, I'm gonna bounce. I'm out, but I gotta hear the story.
Okay, all right. So Bob invites me down to LA for a meeting. Right, I go to this meeting with him and this other guy, and it's a good meeting. And they were honest with me about what they could do and what's available to me based on their resources and things of that nature. And then Bob goes, "Yo, I got a show tonight. I'm doing a show tonight. You should come do a set." And I was kind of like, well, I just came down for this. I'm hanging on. He's like, nah, man, it'll be great. And the other guy was like, nah, you don't have to. Don't feel pressured to do that, whatever, right? And honestly, the other guy was a white guy, it's a Jewish guy. I forget his last name, but he was like, look, he was like, you're going to be he was looking at me like, you're going to be our mainstream guy, right? Like, you're going to be the guy that we want to try to present to like ABC, NBC, CBS, like for like, you know, mainstream comedy, right? The other guy, Bob, is kind of like, he's a very heavy urban comic dude, right? Like he's, you know, come out with the white towel and swing it over your head, right? So he's like, man, come on, it'll be fun. I was like, all right, man, I'll go do it. So I show up at this place, Sal's on Melrose. And dude, when I show up, I have flashbacks of the Stardome in Birmingham, right? Like, I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be interesting, because it was the same thing, right? You had some people who were dressed up like they was going to a church or to a funeral or something, and then you got other people who like just happened to be walking by and was like, oh, it's a show in here, let's go see what this is about. And I remember walking in, and the weed, like the smell of marijuana, right, of weed, like I literally walked into a cloud of it. I was like, oh, like I was ducking to try to keep from getting a contact high. Man, I get into this room, and the room is dark and it's small, but it's jam-packed. It's jam-packed. I find Bob, I go over to him, and he's like, hey, what's up? And he got a little bit of a list. Hey, what's up, Reg? How you going? It's good to see you, man, whatever. And he's like, hey, Reg, look over there. And he points to the corner. And at that point, it was this famous pimp guy named Don Juan, Bishop Don Juan, right? He's sitting over in the corner. This dude got on a lime green suit with a lime green hat. He got about 5 or 6 women around him, all of them in like scantily clad clothing or whatever. And I was like, okay. He was like, yo, man, that's Bishop Don Juan. Man, that's Bishop Don Juan. And I was like, in my head, I was like, hey, man, I ain't really about that pimp life, man. Right? Like, I can't get excited about a pimp, right? Like, you just, okay, if he is famous. But I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I find out where I am on the list. I watch a few people go up before me. And it was similar to the Atlanta situation where people got up and one dude was talking and people were like, man, whatever, right? whatever. Like, all right, whatever. Man, corny. This dude corny, man. Oh, whatever, right? The next person goes up, almost the same thing, but they didn't go as hard. The third person goes up. They're just not paying attention. Like, they're just kind of like, they look for a minute and they go, all right, man, what up, man? Look, what you get something to drink after this? What you want? What you know? So now I'm in the back and I'm like, I'm watching all of this and I'm making a decision. Like, internally, I'm like, yo, are you the dude that gets shook and leave, right? Or do you just grin and bear it and go out there and see what happens? I was like, fuck it, let's just go see what happens. So I'm standing to the side. They give me a nice little intro. I walk out. Off the top, I make a couple comments about the weed and whatever else. And people are like, oh, okay, all right, this dude funny. And then I kind of settle into me. And then it happened. Like, it literally happened. I could see the room split, right? I could see the room split. Like, one half was like, man, we ain't fucking with this motherfucker, man. He corny and shit. Nice ass motherfucker, right? And then the other side was like, hey, I kind of like him. Like, he's fun. Like, he's you know what I mean? He's a big guy, but he's like, you know, he's just kind of silly and he's fun. And I could literally see half of the room, like one half is just like, and the other half is like, oh, this is like, we're enjoying this. And I was like, yo, that's good enough for me. I just took that. And then I was like, yo, I gave him my real name that night. I was like, I'm Reggie Steele. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Walked off. And I go up to Bob and I was like, I said, well, you know, I felt like half the room was with me. And he was like, yeah, man, you know, it is what it is, man. Sometimes it'd be like that. All right, man. All right. And then that was it. That was it. Like, I didn't talk to him anymore. I mean, we've texted and stuff, but I did not sign with Laugh Mob. Needless to say.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it is funny when you're in those situations. You're like, oh, this is what it is. This is as good as going to get, and I'll get through it. Especially when you got to do a longer set, man.
Yeah, just get through it. Luckily for me, that was like 7 minutes. And I felt like it was probably 5 minutes too long.
All right. Well, Tony, before I let you go, I'm going to give you one more embarrassing thing about you. I do remember this fool. This is so funny. It shows the times. I was thinking about this. This is early 2000s. All right. We're going to go to Miami for a weekend. This dude meets this girl there, right? while he has a girlfriend.
Wait, hold up. You can't hold up. You gotta. Did you
hold on? This is different. Don't worry. This is a little bit in the past. He's got a nice wife now, right? He's still married with kids. He's a happy man. But anyway,
go ahead.
Anyway, he gets a number on paper, which no one, that's how they used to do, and then takes it back with him to Atlanta, puts it in his pocket, takes it on a plane through the storm all the way back to California. And eventually his girl at the time finds it. And that's what I remember. I was like, you brought this thing 3,000 miles with you.
Right. I had to call you for help.
Yeah, I did. You did. And then he got mad at me because I remember I didn't want to lie. And I was just like, look, y'all are good together. Wait. And he's like, you just let me out to dry.
You failed that day.
I failed.
So the story goes with this. We went to Miami. We went out for one day. We were on the beach. Some girl gave me her number.
Now, Tony was ripped. Like he looked like he was he looked like he was on roids. This dude was huge, man.
Okay.
And
so the ladies came a-crawling.
And so I get this number and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, just chit-chatting it up. And so I'm like, all right, where am I gonna put this? Instead of throwing it away like any normal person would do, you just throw the number away.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
Even in my bag. I just put it in my pants. So I made sure I put it in my pants and I was on the plane. I'm like, all right, she searches anything, she won't find it. Instead of throwing it away, it's in my pants. On my birthday.
Okay.
My birthday. He finds it in my pants. Goes nuts, throws all the stuff out. I'm locked out. I had to call Sal. He provided no help. Didn't help the situation.
Didn't help the situation at all. Okay,
I
gotta ask you this. Let me ask you this, Anthony. What was the purpose of keeping the number? Were you gonna call her at some point? Maybe, like, were you just
on the other side of the country?
Well, hold up though. He might. Was it like? Did you keep it as almost like a bit of a trophy of like, hey, like a participation award? Like, hey, I did pretty good. Like
a memento, right? I went to Miami Beach. Some girl gave me her number. I felt so cool.
Right.
I got a Miami girl's phone number, and there was nothing there. I wasn't going to call her back. There was
exactly.
Why would I not throw the number away?
You should have just said that, or you should have. No, you can't say that.
He probably did. He did whatever he said. It didn't work. He was kicked out.
I think honestly, in that situation, I think you just say we went down to Miami and this young lady gave me her number. I threw it in my pocket and I forgot about it. Right? Like that's it. That's just the truth of the matter. Right? Like it wasn't like you called her. You guys didn't hook up. There was nothing wrong. It's like I can't help if somebody give me something.
Just because Reggie only dated mentally stable women. All right. I mean, you got your therapist for, just come on, Reg.
When he's talking about his experience in LA, when he said the room divided, I can see exactly what's going on. All the ladies are all getting interested, and all the guys are getting hateful. Like, we'll get out of here.
That's funny.
Dude, it was the worst ever.
That's good, Anthony. That's good.
Yeah,
that's
when
good.
Reggie gets off stage, there's always like a bunch of people want to talk and hang with him, and I'm like, so likable, Reg.
Yo, how come I can't be so funny, Reg? It's got to be.
You're funny, but you definitely likable.
It's a good combination, being likable and funny. It is.
I'm likable. It gets us a lot. You get away with more when you're likable.
That's true.
There's some people who just aren't likable, dude. They're just like
they have to be really funny.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be very funny because if you're not likable, that's
yeah.
Anyway, anything else, Anthony?
No, I'm good.
Hey, man.
Sometimes so I can hear you guys are doing in COVID. I'd love to hear what you guys have done.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's gonna be hard, so I'd love to hear how you guys are making it through the comedy.
You're seeing it. I do trivia once a week online.
To make one of those.
It's been fun. I've got a lot of artists give stuff. It's cool, man. People have been getting some nice art, and I'm still doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna go back live down here, and they're gonna start doing stand-up down here at this bar like twice a month. They want me to do it. But I'll still do the online thing too, because why not? It's fun. It's on Tuesday and whatever.
Well, if you guys go back and you guys can go do another show, I'll bring the real world back.
Oh, that'd be so fun, dude. Oh, we'll definitely let you know next time we're up in the Bay, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good to
For
see
me,
you again too.
I was gonna say for me, man, real quick. The pandemic has been interesting as far as comedy wise for me, like transitional in a sense. Um, I don't even. I'm still debating on whether I'll go back to the stage. Like I'm kind of in a gray area about
Like
that.
ever?
Yeah, like ever. I mean, I want to get back into the room with the audience. Like if I can get back into the room with the audience and around comics and kind of get the feel for the energy and what it is, we'll see.
Just need that taste, bro. You just need a taste.
Yeah, but you know what though, man? Honestly, and we could talk about this some more. You don't have to sit here for this whole thing, Anthony. But I'm like, if I like when I go, I gotta go back different though, right? Like at the end of 2019, dude, I was like, I literally walked off stage and I was like, I can't do any of this material anymore. Like I woke up 2020 and I was like, I'm done with all of this. I just, you know what I mean? So I'm in a different place right now as far as just the stage wise. Like the writing stuff that I'm doing with some other guys is great, but I still I love it still. I want to go, you know what I mean? So I'm in a transitional state. So we'll see what happens as things start to reopen.
It's been tough to write. Like, I mean, I'm always lazy with writing anyway, but I just like, you know, I did a couple online shows and that made me write some pandemic stuff, which is good. And I like it and I'm going to keep working stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of times you're just like, what's the point? I can't get up on stage for a year.
Dude. Yo, I'm gonna say right now, at the beginning, I was like, you know how like this whole thing has been such a journey, right? Of like there's this virus and people are getting infected and people are dying and people are getting sick and the world is changing, everything is shut down, nothing is open, you can't go outside, people are infected. Like there's been so much going on that like to think of something funny would almost be like, like, are you even aware of the world, right? Like I felt I would feel dumb to get up and, you know, it's like 5,000 people died today. You know what my mom used to say? You know what I mean?
Let me talk about my wiener.
Yeah. Speaking of death, my mom died. And you know, the funny thing about her death was like people were like, what the hell? Did she die from COVID? Oh no, she died before COVID, but she used to talk a lot. Right? Like
it's true. Alive, it's different. It's true.
It's just, you know, so I just gotta find my bearing in regards to this whole thing and we'll see what happens. But I found other creative outlets. So hey, Anthony. Hey, man. Thanks for visiting with us, man. We appreciate it. Guys. Great story, too.
Make sure man. Hey, get your vax.
Oh, already, dude. I'm all vaxxed up, baby.
All right.
All right, man. Good seeing you, buddy.
Come on.
I'm still waiting.
Come on.
It's coming. It's coming. I'm just waiting. It's waiting.
Safe. Go get it. Go get it.
Easy, Reg. It's easy. Thank you.
I'm still waiting.
Thank you. Hey, Tony, you should call my
dying in a comedy club than you do from the vaccine. You'll get it.
Yeah, no. Well, I've already died I've died in a number of comedy clubs.
That's funny.
I died in Birmingham and Sal's. So
all right, guys.
All right.
All right, Tony.
Hey, take care, man. Good luck
man.
to you.
See you later.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
That was cool, man.
Oh, that was great, man. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was good. I mean, yeah, dude. Well, it's something interesting I could tell you about because I did get my second shot on Saturday, bro.
Oh, okay. Oh, how you feeling?
And well, I'm good now, but it got me, bro.
It did really.
It gets you good. Like, so the night you get it, so the first one isn't bad. The first one, just your arm hurts.
Right.
You know? But like more than most, because you're like, man, they really got you in there. Like you don't sleep on that arm that night. But then so they always say the second one might be a little tougher. And so I get the second one. And that night, I think it was fine. It wasn't so bad that night. It's the next day. And the next day, Des woke up with a fever. And then I just kind of woke up with this pounding headache. It's hard to sleep because I don't know. It was just a big, bad headache. And then, you could get a fever here and there. You just take a little Tylenol to keep it down. But it was just kind of like, you're very uncomfortable. Like you feel like you're going to be coming down with something. Mm-hmm. But the one saving grace is, it's all temporary. You know what I mean? Because it's so very little that it's not enough to really mess you up like permanently, like for like a too bad, right? So like you're just very tired, and then the next day you're better. I was still tired the next 2 days, but not like no headache or anything like that. But my lymph node, bro, it's kind of okay now, but it was like a tennis ball, bro. I looked like the Hulk on day like
really?
Yeah, on day like 3 it came up because your lymph nodes are working. It's what it's supposed to do. So that is a reaction. But the problem is when you have swollen lymph nodes, it's like something's pushing on your shoulders. You're just like, ugh. So you just, I don't feel like doing shit. Like even like I played Spider-Man one day and I was like, oh, I put too much effort into pushing these buttons.
You're like, I'm too tired for this. I can't do it.
Yeah. So
man,
I knew a few people who got it the same time, and everyone's pretty much had the similar feeling. Some people have had no effects, and some people, but basically it's like you're coming down with something, and then the next day it kind of goes away.
See, that's what I've heard. I've heard, from everyone I know who's gotten their second shot, it's always been like that was the hard part. Like that was the rough day, the fever, the fatigue,
like no cooking. Like we were smart. I had food prepped, so it was easy. Didn't have to do anything. If we had soup, had a bunch of Gatorades, stay hydrated. Shout out to Gatorade. No, but like, no, stay hydrated. It's the key because it dehydrates the body.
So this is what I'm curious about, right? Because the vaccine does not contain any of the virus.
No.
Right. So it doesn't contain the virus, and then it's supposed to boost your system to protect you in case you get the virus. So basically the response that people are feeling is just a reaction to whatever it is they shot in your arm, right? Like
basically, like it sets a body up like, yo, this is how you this is what you're gonna react to if this hits you. All right. So like this is what your body's gonna be like if the virus hits you.
It mimics that because it's not.
They don't put it in because that's dangerous, whatever.
Right.
And so
Well, they do that with other vaccines though.
True, they used to. I don't know if they're doing it as much anymore either because, but yeah, that used to be how you do it. You just take a small amount, but with this, they don't know it as well. And but yeah, now it's supposedly super effective. They're like, no one's died from it. 99%, like whatever it is, like no one goes to the hospital if you catch it. You can still catch it, but which is rare in itself. But even if you do, you're not gonna die from it. You're not gonna be hospitalized from it. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, dude. If you feel like I felt like, I just imagine like if I have feeling like this for 2 weeks with COVID, that's hell, bro. I don't know, and like we said, it affects you forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, I'm glad to hear you made it through, and I'm happy to hear all the people who've made it through, who've gotten the shot.
It's not bad, Rich. 200 million. You gonna get on the damn train already or what?
Come on, man. You know me. Hey, look, I've never been one to like. It's hard for me. It is. I'm just being completely honest with you. Like, I keep reading the science. It's one of those things, man. So we'll see.
One of those things. What does that mean?
It's just, look, man. Look, this is just my natural state of being, right? This is my natural state of being. Is I just err on the side of caution always with any and everything.
You're not in this point,
but I am.
You're erring on the side of COVID, which is more dangerous.
No, I'm erring on the side of caution in the sense of there hasn't been enough time devoted to seeing what the actual side effects will be long term. Right now, you say that they've studied this and they've done that and they've looked at it and they did this and the other, but the pharmaceutical companies are not responsible for anything that happens. Right, so. Basically, right now, the general public is the clinical trial, right?
No, they've already done that.
No, but not long term. Yes, maybe a few weeks, maybe a couple months.
It leaves your body within 72 hours, Reg. It never interacts with the DNA.
But I don't know all the ins and outs. I don't know all the intricacies.
Dude, it's all out there. I'm gonna just keep sending you links. Like
send me links. But I mean, facts. Like, it's just I've heard of look. And I'm not even one, like let me see. I go through my information with a fine tooth comb, right? Depending on what I get. So I've heard things on one side, and then I hear things on the other side. One side, you got the government pushing it hard, right? Everyone get vaxxed. Everyone get vaxxed. Huh?
Because 500,000 people died.
Yes, I get it. Everyone get the vax, right? But then at the same time, there's also the other side where it's just like, look, the amount of time that it usually takes to create something, it just didn't go into that. And there's no disputing that, right? There's just no disputing that.
I don't think that's true, Reg. They've
I
put
don't think
tons
it's.
of.
I don't think there's been
There were
enough.
so many different. It wasn't even just like one group. There's different companies were working on it. Multiple people. Eyes are all on this because of how important it was.
Okay, so tell me what happens in 5 years.
Nothing. You're gonna have to get a booster in a year. This is it, man. Until this shit goes away.
So basically now you have to just get a booster every year. Like,
well, as long as we got ignorant people like yourself refusing to get it, so we can't reach herd immunity.
Man, you can't call me ignorant. You can just say that I'm not
upset.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't call me ignorant, but maybe like I'm not even gonna say stubborn. I'm just cautious, right? Like I feel like I'm okay. No, I'm cautious.
You're cautious, but you're not. There's nothing to be cautious about with the vaccine.
See, that's the thing. That's the part I don't believe completely, because I don't know. Like, look, if in the 2 years, right? In 2 years, 2.5 years, they're like, yo, enough people have had it. We've seen the long-term effects of it, and something will come of it, right? But maybe it's not major, right? It's like we've had a couple of people experience this and a couple of people experience that, but in overall, based on the amount of people who've been exposed to this and the amount of people who've done it, the risk for long-term effects is very minimal to none, right? And they go, but COVID is still alive and kicking, and it's still a thing that's affecting the world on a grand scale, right? Then I go, okay, all right, cool. It's been enough time for me personally, right? But it's almost the same thing with the flu, right? And I'm not even going to say it's the flu because, obviously the flu is a thing and people die from the flu and they have the flu shots and they've never been able to eradicate the flu. They can't get rid of it. So you have to get you get a flu shot.
Variations, yeah.
Yeah, variations of it, right? But I don't get flu shots. And then I seldom, if ever, and now I've had the flu, but I don't get the flu every year. I don't get the flu every 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. I get the flu like every 5 or 6 years.
It's crazy too with your job because you are outside and stuff, and there's.
But that helps though, right?
Yeah, I guess being outside might. That's true.
Being outside, fresh air, whatever. That's good. Not in a confined space.
The wind, yeah.
Right, but the drawback is that I will be exposed to
others.
People not just from locally, but like from around the world. Right. If we get back into international, once they open up the borders for everybody to come back in or whatever the case.
True. So we got to get a doctor on, Reg, just to talk to you and let you know how silly you're being. That's all.
I'm not being silly. Look.
We're gonna get a doctor to tell us how silly you are.
I am happy. Like I am legitimately happy for you, and I'm happy for Anthony, and I'm happy for Stacey Ransom because I know she's listening and she got hers, and Jason Mitchell. I'm happy for Mockley because my boy got his joint, right? My boy AJ got his. I am so happy that everyone has gotten this thing that they believe in. Right, that they believe in and that works for them because it helps them feel confident about re-entering society. Because that's the truth. That's a part of it too, right? Like the whole thing is like if you got the vaccine, you might not have to wear your mask. Well, no, maybe you should wear your mask. But if you're in a group of people who've been vaccinated, you don't have to wear it anymore. It's about trying to get back to what it was beforehand, which I am all for. All right, and a part of it is building that reestablishing that confidence, and also. There's economics involved, and we would be silly not to believe that, right? They want to get the economy going again. They want people back to work. They want people patronizing establishments. They want to get people back out into the world. And I get that. And I'm fine with that. And I'm happy with that. I just don't want it to be at my personal expense. So I will just wait for a little while longer to see how it plays out. And then based on the time frame that I feel comfortable with personally, then I'll go get it. Now, in the meantime, if they say it's a bad flu season, and I've seen what happens with the flu, I'll go get my flu shot. I've had those. I ain't tripping. Right?
If so all you doctors out there, please
if polio come back, I'll go get my polio shot. If smallpox come back, right? They were able to get rid of that. I'll go get my smallpox shot, right? If typhoid or whooping cough or anything else that I've had, hepatitis, whatever, measles, chickenpox, all those, I'll go get all those. I'll do them, and I've done them. Right?
COVID's here now.
Yeah, and it's still new. It's still
all right.
New.
So all you doctors, call in. Thanks for listening.
Well, hold up though. Before we go, we gotta do at least one comedy related question. So I'm
I don't
trying to think.
know. I don't know. We covered pretty much a good amount with the comedy.
Think so? Yeah,
I
I guess
thought
I
that was
told
a
a
good
couple.
story. I like the learning experience from it.
Okay.
Well, we both
Okay.
got garnered from, our
Yeah. Yeah.
experiences.
It was, for me, it was definitely, I think the biggest thing that I took from both of those experiences was, um, there's this idea of who you want to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who you are, right? And me and my boy Mock always talk about this, but the measure of a man is not during times of peace, right? Like it's during times of war or turbulent
Yeah,
times, right?
exactly. Yeah.
So in both of those situations, it was kind of like these are urban rooms where they're accustomed to a certain type of comedy or comedians, and I don't
Right.
necessarily fit that. But who are you? Are you the person that shies away and says, "Nah, man, I don't want to do the set," right?
Right.
Giving into whatever apprehensions you may have, or are you the person that's like, "Yo, let's face the music. Let's go out here and I can only be who I am," right? That's all I can do is I can only be who I am and show up and give it your best shot, and then half the room likes you, other half doesn't. Like,
Yeah. What are you gonna do? There is a
yeah,
lot of times
exactly.
like that. Like there's some half of them are laughing, the other half like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
just smiling.
exactly. And you're
I
like,
had a
yo, the people that
question
like me,
before we bailed. You think the Lakers are gonna have to do the play-in game?
honestly, man, I
They
think
got
they're
to play
gonna
the
have to.
Blazers tonight, and the Blazers are hot. Dude, the Lakers stink without LeBron. There's no leadership. They're lost. Even AD was there for a little bit, and then he didn't get him any wins, and he's hurt now.
He's back hurt again.
Well, supposed to come back tonight, but he was
Okay,
hurt last
okay.
2 games.
Yeah, the off season was too short. It's been hard on people's bodies.
That's
These
true.
kids,
They were the champs, so
they
I
were the
mean,
champs. They played the longest, them in
yeah,
Miami. And that injury that LeBron sustained, honestly, I've had that. Like I've had somebody roll it, and that joint takes a long time,
he
right?
said he'll never
Because
be 100% again.
but that's a part of that is also where he is in his career, in his life,
True.
because he's 36 looking at 37. It's one
Right.
thing if you're 25 looking at 26, you can get it back with time, but 36, Father Time is undefeated, man. So it's like,
Yeah.
this dude who rolled over on his ankle, he could legitimately be the person known as the guy who ended LeBron's career almost,
Well,
in
that's
a
not.
sense.
No, let's hope not. That's what I still
I
want him to
hope
get
not.
another.
I
Yeah.
hope not.
Well, take care of yourself out there, LeBron. We
Yeah.
got we
So
got your back.
yeah, I hope they don't have to play the play-in game.
I think
But
it's
if
dumb. I do agree with him. It's dumb. I mean, I know he supported it when it first came out, but it's dumb. It's
I
just
don't
make
fully
more
understand it.
money. Yeah, I don't even. It's like to squeeze an extra game in. It's like the whole thing with baseball did that wild card thing now to bring
Okay.
someone in, and it's just always they're trying to just squeeze more, like the play-in tournament for the tourney, the
The
NCAA, those
NC2As.
Tuesday games. It's
Yeah.
just like it's stupid, man. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because you know what you're doing. You're taking away the excitement of the end of the season.
Right.
Like, oh wow,
Right.
who's going to be the eighth? Here we go. And yeah, if
Right.
they tie, then you have the play in. But to
Right.
force it, it's just
Wait.
to get
So
asses in the seats.
So
Yeah,
therefore,
they're
so
doing
even if, let me
it's
ask you this:
7, 8, 9, and 10 get involved. Those are the play in.
7, 8, 9, and 10,
Yeah, the ranked guys.
and
So the
normally it was
Lakers
just
are
the top
trying to
8.
fight for 6 with the Blazers, right?
Right. I saw that.
So it's so like,
And
and
the
then it's like a
Blazers.
one, and then it's weird. Like if you're like a 9 or a 10, you have to win 2 games. Where if you're an 8 or whatever, you only have to win one of them. And even that's like, well, is that really even? I mean,
Right.
it's
But you know what I think it is too? I think it's a part of it is the shortened season,
true.
right?
That's what they say.
Instead of 82
It's
games they're
10
playing.
games, right? It's 10
Oh,
less.
it's 72
I
instead
thought
of
so.
82.
I
Okay.
don't know.
I mean, so the question is, do those last 10 games, have they traditionally had a huge effect on people's playoff standings, right? Like not getting those last 10 games, is that preventing what potentially could have been someone getting in, right?
Yeah, I see.
You know what I
Maybe.
mean? So I kind of get it, but I'm with him. I'm like, yo, there's an adjustment. Like this is an adaptation, right?
Right.
So instead of trying to squeeze everything you can, basically, I'm gonna make it a comedy reference. You get 5 minutes. Instead of trying to squeeze in 7 minutes of material into 5 minutes, just do 5 minutes of material, right?
Right.
Like,
right.
or just do plan for 7, but then when you get the light, just walk off. Don't speed up to try to squeeze in because it makes for a poor quality you know, experience. So I'm like, yo, if it's 72 games, just make it like it was like with 82 games and just keep it at that. I hope they don't have to play, but honestly, man, this dude with his ankle, with AD's Achilles, they are just in a tough spot, man. Like they're just not very healthy.
Schroeder's hurt too.
Schroeder's hurt. Like, and that's all super important into to winning, is that you gotta be healthy. So if let me see how to say this. If it gives them an opportunity to be healthier going in somehow, right? Like them missing these regular season games to get healthier for the play-in game, then I'm all for it, right?
Yeah.
Right. But if they try to play in these games and trying to squeeze in, like trying to get to some spot where they don't have to do the playoff game, but potentially hinder their ability to heal up completely, then it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Right. So,
all right. Well,
half a dozen of them.
Good seeing you, my man. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll catch you next time on Spitballin with Sal and Reggie.
Peace.
Peace.